In order to start utilizing 145 for your learners, you first must add them to your Rolodex. This is done for learners who are accessing 145 for the first time or for those entering your program for the year. There is an import option for adding learners to a Rolodex in bulk. Please see the support resource listed below this video for more information. This video will go over how to add one-off individual learners to the Rolodex. If you need to add a single learner, you can click on Rolodexes, and then in the left sidebar, expand the students or residents list, depending on which type of group you're in. Below the list of names, there is a small menu where you will find the option to add. But first, you will need to decide whether to add the learner as internal or external to your program. An internal learner, or INT, is one who belongs to your program as the parent program, and an external learner is one who belongs to a different program or institution. Visually, in the Rolodex, from the list of learners, you can tell the difference between internal and external by the font. External learners are in italics, and internal learners are not. Some institutions and even some specific programs require special permissions to add internal learners. If you do not have that option, it's likely you should be adding your learners as external. Another way to determine if your learners should be internal or external is to determine how other learners were added to the current academic year or in the previous year. If the list of learners is in italics, they should be added as external. If not, they should be added as internal to keep the list consistent. When you click on either INT or EXT next to add, a search window will open for you to input first name, last name, or a combination of both. It's important to search all variations of the name so that you can either identify the correct person or create a new account without inadvertently creating a duplicate account. Some tips for completing a thorough search include searching by last name only in case the account exists with a nickname, searching by a portion of the last name or first name. Carefully scan the search results as the system will generate a list of all persons with the letters typed in the search field. If the person you are searching for appears in the results list in the left window, click on their name to move them over to the right window. If you mistakenly add the wrong person, hover over the name on the right and click the X to remove them. Below this window is a date selector field. You will choose a date that you want to add your learner as of, depending on whether the learning activity aligns with your start date or is off-cycle. The date in this field typically defaults to the start of the academic year you are currently logged into. Change the date by clicking into the date field and launching the mini calendar. Use the month and year dropdowns to accurately select those before selecting a specific day of the week. If there are no results or none of the generated results match your search criteria, click on the Create a New link. A new page will launch, and you'll be prompted to enter the learner's details. Enter as much or as little as you like, but we strongly recommend adding first name, last name, and email address at a minimum. If you need to remove a learner from your Rolodex, expand the Rolodex, and next to DEL, click on INT for internal or EXT for external. The next page functions the same way as adding learners, except it's populated with existing learners already. Scroll through the list on the left to identify the correct person, click on their name to add them to the window on the right, and then add or remove as of date, using the calendar if necessary. The best date here to use would be the date before the start of the academic year. If the internal learner you are removing doesn't disappear from the Rolodex, it's possible they were made external because they are scheduled into a rotation at some point in that academic year. If the learner isn't scheduled into rotations for that academic year and still isn't disappearing from the Rolodex, try removing them again with a date a bit further back than the day before the start of the academic year. Deleting a learner from the Rolodex simply removes them from your program list. It does not delete them from the system. The learner's e-dossier and all the data, forms, logs, grades, etc. remain intact, and they will still be able to log in and view previous assessments.